are now tuned into the sounds of bearded ambition.
Hello, and welcome back to another edition of Bearded Ambition. Today I want to talk about something that I hold near and dear to my heart, and I'm sure plenty of others will be able to relate to this. And specifically, I'm talking about the men. Basically, I want to tap into men being able to release what they hold in based upon societal norms that we're taught to man up. And rightfully so. There's a degree of manning up that's important for protection of our loved ones, our women, and our neighboring community at times. Manning up for strength, for our masculinity, because, we are men. But also at times, we get so encaptured in having to be in a man-up state that you harbor a lot of that, what you cannot release, based upon how you'll be looked at by society, the ones that depend on you, women, your peers, as if you aren't human. All volcanoes at some point will erupt. And when you erupt, you're no good for yourself, you're no good for those around you. So at some point you have to have a release. And I want to talk about how it's okay to be able to release, what you have built up inside. Every human being, man, and woman, have feelings, have insecurities, have worries, have doubts, have fears. And it's okay to be vocal about what you have inside. As a disclaimer, I am not a trained professional in regards to what you should do. But speaking upon my own experience, I've gone to therapy in my most recent years of life. Something that I thought that I would never do. Because, I guess to a degree you could say I'm the strong one, right? I'm the articulate guy. I'm the motivational, I'm the uplifting, inspirational, encouraging guy that normally speaks to others. But I never thought I'd be the guy to raise my hand and say I need help. A lot of us come from backgrounds where we don't have men in our life, masculinity in our life. Some others are fortunate enough to have that. I myself did not have that. I was raised in a single parent home. So there was a lack of what leadership looked like. There was a lack of, direction, so to speak, and a sense of self. So a lot of the times as you grow, you look towards your peers to find identity. And overall, throughout all those years, you don't realize that you end up harboring a lot of what you don't know, what you don't understand, what you're missing, what you wanted, what you have, what you don't have. Especially when, in your youth. Because in my era, during the 90s, it's a different story. Hyper masculinity, gangster music, the element that you're around, you're expected to be a certain way. And at that time, there was no social media like there is now, where you can be a lot more vocal and talk to a camera, express yourself freely without perhaps any judgment. So when you look at the culmination of all those years, and then one day you wake up, and several days that you wake up, and you're dealing with the aspects of parts of you that you don't understand, parts of you that perhaps don't know how to breathe and express themselves, parts of you that don't understand the aspect of your masculinity and your manhood because you never saw the examples of that through a father or through a father figure. And as an FYI, I've had men in my life. Not saying that there weren't men who participated in my life, so I wasn't extremely void without that. But necessarily, those men's jobs weren't necessarily to, direct me into my journey of adulthood in regards to a man. And, some men do that. They do point out aspects of what you'll need to know and just certain principles. But I didn't necessarily always have that. So you figure it out by yourself. And that comes with a lot of trial and error. It comes with a lot of making of a lot of mistakes, being in the wrong places, doing the wrong things. So I say all that to say is that to all men who out there who are in this particular place in the present day, and you need an outlet, I would always suggest that you confide in someone that you truly trust and you're truly comfortable with. If not, seek professional help. But I say all that to say is that it's imperative that you do that, because if you don't, you will implode. And potentially, you'll explode. And when you explode, you can tear up a lot of things along the way. You can tear up a lot of relationships. You can tear up a lot of things physically. And outside of physical pain, one of the most next excruciating pains is mental. I've dealt with mental health. A lot of us don't even understand what mental health is because it's become so part of us that we can't differentiate between what's healthy and what's not healthy. So from the masculine aspect, which I can only speak to, is that it's important. And I would say primarily more so starting at a younger age. If you're a young man, that you express yourself. That you say, hey, this is how I feel. And that you are comfortable with that, or that you have someone that, like I said, you can confide in, a brother, an uncle, a counselor, a coach, does not make you any less masculine than who you are, than you are, to be able to express yourself, despite what society says. Man up. And you should be tough. But you're also human. And if you don't direct that energy somewhere, it's going to go somewhere. And if it's not productive, and you do keep it on the inside, more likely than other times, it's going to end up tearing you apart. And that's when individuals end up hurting themselves, and they suffer in silence, and a lot of times that can lead to other situations, which can be internal and external. But please find a way to express yourself and talk about the things that are inside of you that are adjacent to who you are as a man or a young man. I'm grateful that I've been able to come to this space in my life to where I've grown a lot, to be able to acknowledge a lot of my internal pains and misdirections of life, and the unknowingness of who I am and why not, and things I didn't know. And I'm just grateful that despite all of that unknowingness, and that I still was able to navigate the waters and make it through. As the saying goes, it's a good thing that I don't look like what I've been through, because you would have never recognized me. And every aspect of life, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and financially, I had to find my way through a lot of things. So it's possible that you can make it. But my primary objective is to let you know is that speak up, speak out, say something, talk to someone. Despite how vulnerable or how uncomfortable it may be in today's society, it's imperative that you do it. Social media, in technology, yeah, we have it a lot easier in a lot of regard based upon information and how we communicate. But also a lot of this social media is a detriment to our mental health based upon us looking at others, what they have, and what they got going, as if everybody else that we see has it all figured out. So many people wear masks, it's crazy. A lot of us are afraid to showcase our real selves because you know why? We want to protect ourselves. And we have every right to protect ourselves. But as I always say, one thing that I've learned later on in my life is that nobody is out to get you. There's nobody out to literally get you. You're dealing with a war inside of yourself primarily. And a lot of that is not your fault. One thing you may have heard me say if you've watched any of my other videos is that you have to participate in your own rescue. If you go down to one of my first videos, or my first two videos, it's called Surviving a Plane Crash. And I reference a song by LL Cool J. One of his lines is, if your plane crashed in the water and everybody died, would you drown on purpose or would you try to survive? All leading up to, you have a choice and you have to participate in your own rescue. You don't have to, but nonetheless you get a choice. So I'm saying that in alliance with this is that you You have a choice to be able to speak up for yourself and to help yourself, especially if you're hurting on the inside. Because sometimes manning up to a degree can hurt you to where now you're a man down. You man up so much that you're a man down because you haven't learned the balance. You haven't learned how to release. You haven't learned how to express. You haven't learned how to breathe. You haven't learned aspects of yourself yet because you've been cultivated into a certain version of yourself. And that doesn't mean that you aren't beautiful as who you are. They're just pieces that are missing or pieces that are scattered and they need to be put together. And it's not an overnight thing. Things take time. To find out who you are and what you aren't, it means there's pieces of you that you have to release and there's pieces of you that you have to put in. So you have to ask questions. You have to tell stories. You have to do new things. You have to go away against tradition sometimes. Sometimes you got to go against the grain of family values, things that potentially may not serve you. Misdirections of how you were raised, perhaps. It can be a plethora of different things according to your personal life. But more importantly is that you find peace. You may not ever get it all figured out. I don't believe any of us will have it all figured out. But along our journey, the most important part is that we heal. And that we have spiritual, celestial rest within ourselves so that we can be all right for ourselves. You can't pour from an empty cup. As the saying goes, charity starts at home, then spreads abroad. Who are you good for if you aren't good for yourself? How can you be there for your family if you truly aren't okay with yourself? If you truly aren't fulfilled within yourself? And you may be harboring a lot of storms within yourself. Everybody has storms. Everybody is an individual before they're anything. Even in the midst of a collective. Even in the midst of family structures. Being fathers. Being leaders. Being guides. You have to make sure that you're pouring back into yourself. That you participating in your own rescue. So overall, the message is this. Don't put yourself in a situation to where you're so manned up that you end up becoming a man down. Because you're going to do yourself more harm than good. Will it be easy? No. Nothing is ever 100% easy. But will it be worth it? Yes. It'll be worth it for you. It'll be worth it for the ones that you love and the ones that love you. If people truly love you, they will understand that you're human. You're a spirit trapped inside of a fleshly body that feels emotion, and that it's okay for you to be able to express yourself without judgment so that you can be replenished, so that you can be renewed, so that you can be revised, refreshed, so that you can face the day just like everyone else. Each day is going to greet you with its own challenges. And you need to be the best version of yourself. So we all have to release. That's just the way it works. So from one man to another, I'm just here to encourage you that if this is you, I'm letting you know that it's okay. However you have to do it. I'm an advocate for there is no one size fits all to anything in life. You figure it out as you go. If you can't find a way, you make a way. Talk to someone. Watch a video. Go out in nature. Pray, read, cry. Seek therapy. Seek counseling. Talk to a loved one. Rest. All these can be ways to find peace within yourself. So, once again, don't allow yourself to get so manned up that you become a man that's down. As always, in closing, I don't hope, but I trust that this will add value to you. I trust that this will reach those that it needs to reach. And if you are watching this video right now, for whatever reason, and it's come across your feed, that this is for you. Take heed to the message. Take heed to your spirit. And I trust that it will prick your heart in a way that you will find direction and you are exactly where you need to be. And as always, please take care of yourselves.